This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. Who is your hero? Most people, when presented with a scenario to answer this question, would think of a selfless character who braved the odds and rescued a situation that was getting out of hand. A hero is a person who is well-liked due to their successes and noble characteristics. The likes of Martin Luther King Jr., who advocated for equality among all races, Nobel Peace Prize laureate Wangari Maathai, who was buried in a papyrus casket for her love of nature, Clara Barton, an American activist who risked her life on the battlefields of the Civil War to start the Red Cross, and Oedipus of the Greek myths are all considered heroes by lots of people. Although the heroes are understood differently among individuals, they are ordinary persons who possess more or less similar characteristics and could be anybody whose actions touch another person's life. Characteristics and journey of a hero. Irrespective of gender, culture, or traditions from which they are depicted, heroes possess some common characteristics. Although a hero could possibly possess all the 5 characteristics shared by heroism outlined by Miriam Polster, some could be more evident and overshadow others. Heroes and heroines have respect for human life. They believe in the sanctity of life and often risk their lives for others' sake. They have faith in the effectiveness of their choices and would pursue them in spite of the opposition and criticism they may face. They possess an original perspective and are not forced to accept and conform to agreements as they are, but rather advocate for issues to be as they way should be. Heroism entails physical courage that makes one risk death and injury for another's sake, as well as mental courage that drives one not to be limited by the accepted truths. The acts of heroes usually may have public impacts or may impact profoundly on an individual and pass unnoticed. The heroes usually go through a number of stages before they attain their desired destiny. Joseph Campbell outlines the steps of the hero's journey. They reside in a normal world until they are called to adventure by the rise of a discovery or an event in need of help. They are faced with the task of refusing or accepting the call and entering a world of the unknown, where they encounter a supernatural aid that helps them through their quest. They require a talisman and a helper along the way for success. They go through a series of tests that strengthen and prepare them for the final hurdle. The heroes finally encounter the supreme ordeal, pass it successfully, and are finally rewarded for the hard toil. Their success changes their lives and the lives of those around them, and they stand qualified, e.g., for marriage, kingship, or queenship. Modern-day heroes. Today, the definition of the hero above as a mythological or legendary figure, often of divine descent, endowed with great strength or ability, is long fading into history. The meaning of a hero has changed and depends entirely on the time and reason for which one is considered a hero, and parallel to the advancement of society, religion, and politics to suit the wishes of those involved. This is because the characters of people have changed. People no longer live in those old days when societal rules were rigid and leadership hereditary. People strive to do good, and those who take the task to the extreme end are considered heroes or do-gooders. Social entrepreneurs, as they are commonly referred to, are less interested in their success, but rather in changing the system as a whole. Today, extreme do-gooders focus their attention on environmental protection, improving the education of a child, and eradicating poverty and diseases from the face of the earth. They are pleased to do good even though their actions may negatively affect them. A good example is that of the late Professor Wangari Maathai from Kenya, who advocated for environmental protection through a worldwide program, the Green Belt Movement, for planting trees in deforested zones, and lost her parliamentary seat in the process. She, however, won the 2004 Nobel Peace Prize, becoming the first woman in East and Central Africa to win the prestigious award. Another example is Erik Brockovich, a legal secretary who dedicated her efforts to petitioning against a service company for polluting a source of water for a community. Conclusion. Heroes have tales of adventure written against their names and an audience to listen to them. However, they go past the usual fame and celebrity status. They are people who dedicate themselves to simplifying tasks for others and live lives that others strive to emulate by setting standards not achievable by the common man, yet encouraging him to pursue them. Heroes envision positive change and work towards it. Each person is faced with the same difficulties, and the path they choose to follow in making their journey unrivaled is always different. People should be well aware of the mission of their journeys to successfully accomplish it and emerge as the ultimate hero. Gone are the days when heroes were considered supernatural and enigmas. The future foresees a world where everyone strives to be their own hero. If you want to find more works like this essay on modern-day heroes in society, head over to ivypanda.com. It has a collection of samples with thousands of submissions covering virtually all academic subjects.